than the one we had 2 years ago that's starting to circulate. So both are now in circulation. And the newer one, that's called Clade 1, can be more serious. And there have been reports of people, even if they're fully vaccinated, still, before they just got a mild case, now some people are actually getting pretty sick with it. So just make sure, if you haven't already, get your 2 vaccines. Right now, they're not recommending a booster, and we have no CDC to provide any guidance on this. So everybody's kind of flying blind. But there are places to get free vaccinations. What's different between the last time and now is that they've commercialized the vaccine. Before, the government was providing it for free. Now, if you don't go to a free vaccination event or to a free clinic, if you get it through your doctor, it costs between $300 and $400 a pop for that's for each vaccine. You need 2. So there is going to be a clinic tomorrow at the Cathedral City Senior Center, and there's also going to be a booth at Pride with the Riverside County Health Department. I think it's RUHS, Riverside University Health System. So look for those. They do have a clinic also here in Palm Springs on Sunrise and Tockwitz. So I think anybody can walk in and request a free vaccination there. So tell your friends. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Did you say get a booster?
No, there is no booster recommendation now.
Okay, that's what I
There's
thought.
been talk of maybe a booster would be beneficial, but they don't have the studies to back it up,
Right.
and they don't have the vaccines.
Okay, yeah, I read
And there's
online.
no CDC, so right now, so now the government's closed. Christopher, you have
In general, does the monkeypox activate or stimulate the HIV? Is there any indication?
That's a good question. Actually, and it's the second part of the announcement about this. Is that Dr. Phyllis Ritchie from PS Test. She couldn't be here tonight, but she very graciously agreed to do a Zoom town hall for us tomorrow at 11. We'll be sending out an email. We just kind of got everything pulled together for that the last couple of days. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Zoom, check your email. That'll be the place to ask doctor questions like that, and she can help answer those. And that email will have lots of information as well. Yeah, Richard.
What time is the clinic open at the senior center tomorrow?
I think I'll have to double check. I'll get back to you on that. And forward it to you. And Danny, yeah.
So if you had a monkeypox shot before, you don't need.
If you've had 2,
Okay.
the two shot series. So you need to have 2 to be fully protected. And also, if you get the shot, they say it takes 2 weeks before it becomes fully effective. So don't get a shot and go to your play party and expect
And RSV, what is,
That's the respiratory syncytial virus. That's a different respiratory virus.
they won't give it to you.
I don't know.
Because you don't need a booster.
Every time they keep
Pardon?
a vaccine.
You don't need a booster.
Oh, you don't. Jim's saying you don't need one. That's a good doctor question for Dr. Ritchie for the town hall tomorrow. And yeah, John.
2 years ago, the incidence was mostly younger men coming in from the coast. Has that been the same this time around?
Anybody can get it if you're sexually active and you're exposed to someone. I heard anecdotally a report from San Francisco that I think these were middle-aged and older guys at a sex party, and a bunch of people came down with it. So we've seen cases in San Francisco. We've had a couple cases here in Palm Springs, so it's back. So that's why I wanted to make the announcement. And then the other announcement you may have seen when you came in, there's a box on the table. I think I've shared before that if you have leftover HIV meds, please don't throw them away. They could be saving lives somewhere else. So Ken Bergenet very graciously created that nice little box and the label to go with it. The ones that we collect here, I take to doctors in San Diego who volunteer at a clinic in Tijuana. It's illegal to share your prescribed drugs with somebody else in the U.S. technically. So anything we collect has to go out of the country. So we send it to Tijuana. There's also a group that's been around for years called Aid for AIDS, and they collect them from all over the country and send them to clinics, mostly in Africa. So there's a couple of ways to do that. But yeah, as expensive as these meds are, and not just HIV meds, but antibiotics and other things, even if they're slightly expired, They're more than likely still good, so donate them to the organization, and they can sort through them and see what they're
We
able to
can
use.
find the box.
Yeah, Jonathan again.
Will you be collecting them at your Pride booth?
Oh, we will. If you want to drop them off there, we'll have the box here every month. And if you can't make it, just call me, or call or email me, because I'm the one who takes them to San Diego with the doctors who take them to TJ. So that's it for announcements. So without further ado, Jim's going to introduce our speaker.
All right, how's everybody tonight?
Good.
Good. So my name's Jim Ferguson. I'm on staff at HARP, and it's an honor for me to introduce Dr. James Mellon, our speaker tonight. He's the founding spiritual director at the Global Truth Center in Los Angeles and Palm Springs. The Global Truth Center is a community built on love and unconditional self-acceptance. Dr. Mellon earned his doctorate in consciousness studies from the Emerson Theological Institute and has served as a religious science minister for over 20 years. Before ministry, he had a very successful entertainment career, performing on Broadway, television, and film, including roles as Riff in West Side Story and Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. He's written many books, music, and 3 original musicals. Dr. Mellon lives in Los Angeles with his partner Kevin of 30 years. And I am a proud member of the Global Truth Center here in Palm Springs. Like many of you, when I came out, I came from a conservative religious family. And by the time I reached adulthood, I had already acquired quite a bit of baggage. Then came the AIDS crisis, myself testing positive, and losing many, many very dear friends who were great people. And to something that was just completely meaningless. So at that point, I was no longer really a happy person in life. Quite frankly, I felt spiritually bankrupt. And through Dr. Mellon's guidance and my participation in the Global Truth community, I've been able to release all that baggage that I carried around that no longer serves me and move towards a much better version of myself. And I'm very grateful for that. But my journey at Global Truth had nothing to do with ancient religious scripture or biblical stories. It's all been about refinding something that was inside myself already. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Dr. Mellon. Yep.
Lower right-hand corner, left and right arrow.
Yes, got it. Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to come speak. It's funny, when Jim asked me to speak, he said, it's going to be, the topic is HIV and spirituality. And I was like, okay, what is that? What do I say to that? The last time I came here and spoke, I was talking about feeling shame about being gay, and I talked about my life story, growing up Catholic. But I'm a religious science minister. But it's less about religion, it's about spirituality. It's about who am I on the inside. So tonight I have something a little bit different in mind. And if you take a look at my opening slide here, what do you want and why? So I teach quantum metaphysics. And you may wonder what that is, but the quantum world is how do we particularize things? How do we get to the smallest part of a particle? And what is it? In the quantum world, in science, that's understanding life as particles. Like you're sitting in a chair right now. That chair is billions and billions of particles that are coming together to form a structure that you can put your billions of particles on top of. That's what you're sitting in. So that's the science of quantum. But when you talk about quantum metaphysics, it's really more about who are you at the smallest particle of your being. And when the idea of HIV and spirituality, I guess what I'm really saying is, who are you beyond HIV? Who are you beyond the physical aspect of your being? And so this question here, what do you want? I'd like you to just start the evening with that question. What do you want in your life? What is it you're wanting to accomplish? And not even accomplish. What is it you want to create in your life? More happiness, more joy, more success, more health, more love in your life, more relationships, whatever it is. What do you want? Every person sits here tonight or stands here tonight with things that we want. You know, one of the things that I right now want more of in my life is to be able to be present more, to be really present, to like feel what I'm feeling and not be making exceptions or making excuses for what I'm feeling, but actually being okay with whatever I'm feeling and then dealing with my life from that perspective. So it's about staying fully present. Can I be present, like right now, can I be fully present and not considering what's going on or what I may have to say? Yes, I can. So that's what I want. But the real question for me tonight, for all of you, is the second part. Why? That's actually the big part I want to bring up tonight. So, what do I want and why? So first I just want you to ask yourself, what do you want? I'm going to do it this way. What do you want? So can I just, somebody yell out to me something you think you want right now?
Happiness.
Happiness, okay. Are you a happy person?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have happiness?
Yes.
But you want more?
I would like it if I was just always happy.
Who else would like to be happy at all times? Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay. Do you think that's possible?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on to that and I'll get back to you. Give me something else that you want.
A husband.
Who wants a husband here? Raise your hand. Who has husbands?
Or at least a relationship.
What you say, or at least a what?
A relationship.
A relationship, okay. But you want a husband. You want a soulmate, right?
Companion.
Companion. Just a companion. Okay. Who said they're married? Okay, good. So what do you want?
Direction, inspiration.
Okay, direction, inspiration. That's good. I like that. What else? What do you guys want in the back?
Not to be such a disappointment to myself.
Wow, that's a great one. Say that again.
Not to be such a disappointment to myself.
Why are you a disappointment to yourself?
Yeah, you're gonna get me crying.
That's okay. You can cry.
Because I am. I'm a mess.
Did you say you're a mess?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're a disappointment. Why?
I haven't achieved anything. I'm old as dirt, and I haven't achieved much.
I bet you I'm older than you.
No, you're not.
How old are you?
I just turned 75 last week.
Okay, you win. But but I just turned 71.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just turned 71. Who's my surgeon? No surgery. No surgery. None whatsoever. Right? Yeah, put the lights up. You'll see there's no surgery. So I want to go to the part of this which is why. Yes, go ahead.
Know and understand myself better.
Okay. So what you want is to know and understand yourself better. That's great. Part of what I'm going to do tonight is actually leaning in that direction. You know, Socrates said, know thyself. And they say that knowledge is power, but self-knowledge is self-power. So for you, can you tell me your name, the disappointment back there?
Kurt?
Kurt?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Kurt. So I'm more interested in why you think you're a disappointment. And I'm sure if I asked you, and I'm not going to, but I'm sure you would give me all the reasons why you're a disappointment, right? I could give you all the reasons why I've been disappointed in my life. And you all could give me all the reasons why you sit where you sit tonight with who you are in this moment. But you know what's funny? That's not who you are. That's what you've done with who you are. So if you're a disappointment, that's just the way you've used what you still have right in this moment. So when I say to you, oh, what is that? What happened?
I don't know what that up. I know that part of your.
Download a picture, they'll make it up.
Yeah, really. That's good. That's good. Thanks.
Is this part of yours?
No. It's my picture. It's the picture. You're not in the PowerPoint. Yeah. Go back to PowerPoint. There you go. Okay. That's good. I don't know how we got I don't know how we got out of
And
there.
then click on
So-
Zoom. And then click on Zoom, right?
I know you haven't all given me an answer yet, but while you're sitting here, whatever your question, whatever your thing is that you want, I want to move on to why do you want it? Why? Because that's really the important part. That's what gets you to who are you? Why do you want what you want? Why do I want to be fully present? Well, it's a reaction to the fact that there's a lot where I wasn't present during my life. So I want to be fully present. And not only that, when I say what do I want to be present, more present in my life. Part of it's because I was raised to not feel. I was raised to believe it wasn't appropriate for a man to feel or to be emotional or to have any issues, to always be able to stronghold my way through everything, which meant don't feel too much because it's going to stop you. So I can look back and understand my why of this question. So, Zoom Workplace.
He's not going to change slides until.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Yep, close that.
Got it? Okay, here we go.
No.
Nope.
I think we lost internet, Jeff.
We lost internet. It started buffering.
So we'll just record.
That's okay.
You're recording up there?
Yep.
Okay. So here's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I know I only have 45 minutes. What do you want and why? Understanding your desire, your motivation, and the meaning behind it. The first thing I have to get out of you is, what are your desires? What's the average age in the room? Is anybody under 65? Good for you. 63. Anybody under 60? You're at 61. 60. Okay, good. So, do you think desires of men 60 and over are different than the desires of men 20 to 60?
Yes.
Do you?
Okay. Yes.
Why?
Experience. Yeah. I know that.
Okay, experience.
Wisdom.
Oh, wait, wisdom. Do you think desire is better after 60 than between 20 and 60?
We understand it better.
You understand your desires better.
Yeah.
But perhaps do you understand your desires better, or have you understood them into the ground better? Yeah, I think the second too, for myself. You know, we think we're smarter, we think we're wiser, and we tend to stop ourselves from desiring what we want. So when I ask the question, what do you want and why? Many people come to me with the answer of, I actually want this because of who I am now, because of the age I am now. Right now, I would just like a companion, which I'm not calling you out on this, but let's just say, I just want a companion. And yet, if I was in my 20s or 30s, I might say, I want a really great sex partner. I want somebody that I can really have fun with. I want somebody that I can blah, blah, blah with. But I may not think that at 60, or God forbid, 70, or Jesus. Anybody in their 80s here? There you go. Or 90s. Any 90s? You are not 90. Yes. So that's what I want you to look at tonight, or even just contemplate tonight. Why do you want the things you want? And is it really, truly what you want? Or is it possible that your desires and your motivation are coming from an understanding of who you are that you've maybe talked yourself into, as opposed to who you truly, truly are? And from a spiritual perspective, you know, what I teach is that every single one of us has the capacity to tap into this quantum field of pure potentiality, pure possibility. That's who we are. We are not the sum total of everything we've done throughout our life. We don't have to live the reaction to everything we've done up to this point. We actually, at any moment, can just take a deep breath and say, I start over right here, right now. Now, the truth is, I believe that, and so I live my life that way. The question is, what do you believe? So, understanding desire, first of all, asking yourself, why do you desire the things you desire? Why are you or are you not motivated to go after those desires, to accept them and actually be willing to live them? And then, what meaning do you put to the desires you have? I mean, what's the purpose of the desires that show up inside of you? How many of you here think that maybe there are desires that you have deep inside that you do not allow out? Okay, the rest of you let all of your desires out and live them fully. I'll buy it if you say that. Okay, so what do you think you want? I want to talk about your wants, your needs, and your goals. And then, the last thing here, what influences have created these things? So, just think for yourself right now. What are your wants? What do you want right now in your life? What do you want for? Anything? Just talk amongst yourselves. Balance, okay? And then what do you need? So is that a different question for you? What do you want and what do you need? So what do you need? Somebody yell something that they need in their life.
Intimacy.
Intimacy. You need intimacy. Okay, good. Don't you want that too? Okay. So you have wants, you have needs, but who is it that's having the wants and who is it that's having the needs? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to decide what the goals are. I have wants, I have needs, but who am I? Do I have the capacity to actually put those wants and needs in the front of my mind and go after them and have them as a goal to achieve? And if you don't, if you're sitting here thinking, I don't get this, I don't see how do I suddenly get what I want? How do I suddenly not disappoint myself at this point in my life? How do I suddenly become an entirely different person and find a husband? Or find intimacy in my life? Or find a fulfilling creative expression of myself? How do I do that? I haven't done it up till now. Why would I think I can do it now? That's what I want you to contemplate. Why you're sitting here tonight. First of all, I also believe that if you're sitting here tonight, and I'm standing here tonight, and I'm saying what I'm saying, and you're hearing what I'm saying, we're all here for a reason. This is not an accident that Jim asked me to speak here tonight. It's not an accident that you showed up. And it's not an accident what I'm talking about. This is a big part of my life, which is why, I do look the way I look because I believe what I believe. And because I really believe that life is worth living and that I can live it any way I choose, no matter what. You know what? 2 years ago, I had a heart attack in Kauai while I was teaching a workshop. And I thought I had pulled a muscle at the gym, so I didn't pay attention to it. So 8 hours later, after my workshop was over and I was getting towards the end of the day, I went to the hospital in Kauai. And I said, I think I pulled a muscle. I'd like to get an x-ray. They took a blood test and said, you're having a heart attack. When did this start? I said, about 8 hours ago. And they were like, and you just came in? I said, well, I've been really busy. And, they didn't think that was a great thought. And so then they immediately put me on a plane and medevaced me to Oahu because they couldn't do what I needed, apparently. So they flew me to Oahu, put in 3 stents, flew me back to Kauai, and then I continued teaching my workshop. And the doctor said to me, he said, at your age, I'm just shocked that you came through this way. He said, you're the only person we have ever, not ejected, not ejected. What is it when they get rid of you at a hospital? Thank you. They ejected me. They discharged me. He said, you're the only person we've ever discharged from ICU. And I was like, well, that's good. So why is that? Is that because I'm so amazingly in shape? No, because my mind is in shape. And because I know who I am. And then, 2 days later, they flew me back to Oahu because I thought I was having a heart attack, a second one. And they did too. But it wasn't. It was a false alarm. It was fine. And here I am, 2 years later, fine. Okay, 15 years ago, I had stage 4 cancer. Not just cancer, stage 4 cancer. It had already gone into my lymph nodes. And the doctor found it, and basically they said, you probably have, what was that, March, April, May, June? You have like 5 months, probably. And I was like, that's not acceptable to me. And it was in my throat. And they were like, they said, well, we can take the tumor out, but you won't be able to speak. You're going to have a voice box. And I was like, I speak for a living, and I'm a singer. So none of this is acceptable. I searched the country, found the right doctor, and here I am 15 years later, totally fine, speaking fine, and I sing fine. So why is that? Why is that? Partly because of the bottom of this. What influences have created these things in your life? Why would I say to a doctor, I'm not going to die, and not only that, because I do have a healthy ego, I said, and I'm not losing my hair. I said, I will take all the indignities you give me, but I will not lose this hair. And my doctor was a woman. She was like, you are going to lose your hair. I suggest you cut it really short so you don't notice it. My hair was like down to my shoulders at the time. I was like, I'm not losing my hair. It's not going to happen. Well, I did not lose my hair. I lost a little bit in the back. That was it. They were shocked. So what is that? Is that because it was a fluke? No, because my mind was very clear. I'm not going to lose my hair. My doctor then said to me at the end of the journey, she said, you really should have thought more about nausea, because I threw up constantly. And I went from 165 pounds to 130 pounds. I looked like an Auschwitz victim. It was horrifying. But she said, if you kept your hair, you could have probably kept your weight too. But you know what? I actually believed I was going to lose weight. I actually believed how sick I was going to be. I believed all that. I bought into all of that influence. So I got to experience all of that. Now you may be sitting here thinking, is that really possible? And is this really true that our minds are that powerful? And I got to tell you, I'm here to tell you, yes, your mind is this possible. I mean, you are all coming to this group from a very similar place, yet you're all here tonight, alive and healthy, and having dealt with something monumental, something that many and many of my friends have dealt with and did not make it. So you already know the power of your mind. The truth is, what are you going to do with it now? And that's what I'm talking about tonight. What do you want? What do you want beyond what you have? What do you want beyond what you've accomplished so far? So, Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of religious science, he said this: practically the whole human race is hypnotized because it thinks what somebody else told it to think. Ernest Holmes. So even if you haven't come up with something tonight that you are sure you want, or even if you're sitting here thinking, I don't really want anything, or I'm not sure there's anything really for me to want, I would suggest that maybe you're the victim of a lifelong energy, a lifelong creative consciousness, collective consciousness that told you something that maybe you don't want to buy anymore, and that you could maybe buy a different story, which is you have the capacity, you have the ability, you have what it takes to decide something different for yourself. Whatever that is, even if it's a husband. I mean, I do a lot of counseling for people. I had a woman who came to me, she wanted a soulmate, and we started talking about it. And she said, but I don't want him to live with me because I don't want anybody in my house. And then I was like, okay. She says, yeah, and I don't want him to stay over at night. And I was like, you too? Am I describing your perfect date? Yeah. And I was like, okay. And she said, yeah, so, but I really want to find my soulmate. I said, no, you don't. You don't want to find your soulmate. You want a hot piece of flesh for a couple hours and then send him home. And she was like, she was like, Dr. James, that is like so non-spiritual for you to say that. And I was like, I'm not trying to be spiritual. I'm trying to actually tell you, here's what you're telling the universe. Every one of you sitting here tonight, whatever you're thinking right now is having a profound effect on your future. Do you know that? The way you're using your mind right now has a profound effect on how your future is going to unfold, however that is. So this woman tells me this, and I was like, so I'm just here to tell you, you're not looking for a soulmate. You're not looking for even a partner. You want to date someone. You want to have sex. I said, don't you want to have sex? She's older. I was like in my 50s at the time. So she was like in her 60s. She was like, I do, but I just don't think that's something I should ask for. I said, well, when you go to the grocery store, if you go to the grocery store to buy a dozen eggs, do you go in and then pick something else up because you don't want to get the eggs? You're afraid you can't have the eggs? Just get what you want. So I told this woman, I said, why don't you go to Vegas? Why don't you go to Vegas and hire a guy for an evening? I said, just go hire a guy to tell you what it feels like. Let yourself feel what it feels like to have sex again. And she was like, do you counsel people like this all the time? And I was like, I kind of do. I said, because I'm just trying to give you what you want. And so she went to Vegas. She hired this guy. She even showed me his picture. I was like, yeah, that's good. He's good. Looks like he's going to be good. She hires this guy. She goes to Vegas. And she's sitting at the bar waiting for the guy and strikes up a conversation with some other guy. She ended up canceling the guy that was coming to meet her and had a wild weekend with the guys she met at the bar. Right? And then she came back to me, told me this whole story. And I was like, so what's going to happen next? She goes, I don't know. She said, I said, did you let him stay in your hotel room? She goes, no. He had a big suite. I stayed in his. I said, so that wasn't a problem. She goes, no. Anyway, that woman now lives in New Jersey with this guy. Very wealthy man. And they have this great relationship. And there was at least at that time, a lot of sex involved. So, the whole human race is hypnotized because it thinks what somebody else told it to think. So, why do you want it? So here's part of this program that I'm working on. Identify emotional or psychological needs beneath the surface desires. And then use the 5 whys technique to uncover some motivation. So I need a guinea pig to do something with me. So can I have you come on up here for a minute? What is your name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, okay. Can you step up this one or you want to take those steps? Okay, take those. Okay, so everybody knows Jonathan, right? Okay, so Jonathan, it gets to come to this side of me, just don't trip over that. So, it says, why do you want it? So you said you want...
A husband.
Okay.
Companion. Companion.
A husband.
Intimacy.
A husband, okay, good. So, identify emotional or psychological needs beneath. Why? Why do you want these things?
To feel more complete.
Okay, so here's how this exercise works. Okay, so I asked you that question, and I'm going to ask you why over and over again. Let yourself just speak. Don't try to figure out an answer. Just let yourself, whatever comes up, even if it seems ridiculous, just spew it out, okay? Great. So again, I'm going to say it. So Jonathan, what do you want?
To find motivation. I'm retired. I'm not doing a lot of volunteer work right now, so I'm sort of living in the mañana. It's not that important. It doesn't happen today. There's tomorrow.
Thank you, Annie. Yes. So now tell me the answer to the question, what do you want, the husband? What do you want?
Someone to care about. Who
Why?
Cares about me.
Why?
To be a better person.
Why?
to be pushed to accomplish,
Why?
because that's what community is about. Being the best, like the Marines, be the best you can be.
Why do you need to be the best you can be?
Oh, well, no, I don't, but I'm a pretty good guy, but underappreciated, and
Who underappreciates you?
men that I run into. I've learned often going out to clubs who are just looking to meet body parts, and
What are you looking to meet?
somebody who's single. I wind up even at pool parties, or we're talking and we're hitting it off, and maybe a little kissy face. And I've learned in the beginning to say, "So, who's your husband?" And they usually turn around and point.
So then you're not interested in a trouble.
Right, I have enough single friends, some of whom are here tonight, that I care about and do things with on occasion.
Okay, so you want a husband, you want intimacy, you want companionship. And when I say, why do you want these things, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Someone will discipline my dog better than me.
Okay, you could get a dog trainer, you know that, right? Okay, so go deeper. Why else?
Well, I've had serious relationships before that I was very involved with and put in a lot of effort and time, and I feel that I became a better person after. I'm not one of those people who makes mistakes and finds the wrong person over and over.
Were you hurt by any of these people?
Hurt. I didn't allow myself to be hurt. I just sort of shrugged my shoulders and thought, oh well, that ran its course.
Do you think any of that has anything to do with where you are now in terms of attracting someone?
Where am I now? Possibly.
Are you open to finding someone?
Yes, but
Where's the but?
I've recently moved. Still 4 months later, I'm unpacking and organizing, so I don't feel my home is presentable enough for people to come by and admire rather than looking at boxes.
It could also help you unpack.
I have friends that come over and actually help.
But you don't want friends, you want a husband.
Right, but friends are reliable for the time being. I've had 2 friends come over in the last week that helped me with little projects that I made progress on.
So, when I asked the question earlier tonight, when I said, what do you want? You know, you were the first voice. And you said, a husband. That was something that came out of you really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And came out of you pretty passionately, pretty, vocally.
Yes,
Is that surprising?
no,
So then when I say to you, why do you want a husband? I know you've given me some funny answers, but what's the deep answer?
I would like to think that a couple becomes greater than the sum of its parts.
Do you have a lot to offer someone?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know that, right? So you have a lot to share.
And I think that my friends that are here who know me would be good references in that.
So what if I were to say to you, we live in an equitable world, universe, and that who you are will always attract what you're equal to. And if you're equal to a husband, that has to show up, because that's the way the scientific world of the quantum field works. So it behooves you to stay completely open to and absorbed by all the greatness that you are, that you have to share.
Well,
that feel?
that's why I'm here tonight. No one's gonna come knocking on my door.
Well, actually, they might if you install a door that is wide open to possibility.
Well, I'm in a gated community.
Have you ever heard the expression pulling teeth? No, so what I'm really suggesting is that what I hear in here, there really is, right in here, something really incredibly valuable. And I would love for you to walk out of here tonight with it being wide open, really wide open, and with no yeah buts. Yeah buts like, I live in a gated community, I don't have enough boxes, my boxes aren't unpacked yet, I have friends, they can handle it for me. All of those things are all honest answers, but I think, and what I'm talking about here tonight is, what's underneath all of that?
Underneath. Well, let me share. I volunteered for the Reef Foundation for a Leather Pride event at somebody's home on Sunday. So in preparation, I had a t-shirt made that had a heart, and I wrote, "You break it, you bought it." Nobody commented on it.
Well, it's kind of intimidating. You break it, you bought it. How about you love it, you own it?
Oh, okay.
Because that's the difference in the consciousness. You break it, you bought it. It's funny, but you love it, you own it. Could be more what you're really looking for.
Actually, in the 3 or 4 serious relationships over the past decades, I don't really remember if I said to the other person, "I love you." I mean, it was just a relationship. So.
Okay, that's important information for you. And that's something to look at. That's the why. Why what's underneath it all. Well, thank you. That was really very vulnerable to share.
Well, that's me.
Good. Can we have a round of applause?
I take referrals.
And he takes, yeah. Okay. So this why exercise, by the way, yeah, it's experiential. This why exercise is a really important exercise to keep asking yourself, to go backwards, constantly go backwards. Answer your question, what do I want? And then ask yourself why. And then the next why. And you layer it back as you go back. Okay, Ernest Holmes also said this: life is not just something to be endured. It is to be lived in joy, in fullness, and without limit. And the question becomes, do you believe that? Is that something that you can buy into? So, let's look at this. The conflict of wants. Identify internal conflicts between short-term and long-term wants, and understand how values clarify decision-making. So, if I said to you, what do you value most in life? What would you say to me? Health, okay.
Safety.
Safety, okay, being safe. What do you value most in life? Oh, yeah.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind, okay. What else?
Family connections.
Family connections. Him? You said, is that your husband?
Yeah.
Him.
32 years.
Okay, that's great. What do you value most in life? Kindness. Okay. Where'd Jonathan go? Oh, what do you value most in life?
Learning patience for my friends that they're at the edge of going over the deep end regarding our current leadership in DC.
Yes, okay.
And not engaging them in all
Yes.
the terrible things that are yet to come.
Terrible things that are yet to come. So, I have a thing, it's called an already established premise. You all have one. It's an AEP, already established premise, which means you live your life from a specific perspective of life. A lot of people live their life, especially right now, they have this AEP that the worst is yet to come. And that's what they're expecting. And that's an energy. We're all energy. Our mind's consciousness is energy. So give yourself just think about it for a second. What is your already established premise of life? Like, how do you live life? Do you believe that life is good? That your life is going to get better? That, yeah.
Live content with what you have.
Be content with what you have.
Yeah.
Okay? How's that feel?
I find balance when I try to feel that way, so it feels good.
It feels good to be content with what you have.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because I can want more, I can want less.
Can you have more?
Possibly.
How?
Working more. I already got out of retirement to work part-time. I can go work full-time. That would give me more to get more, but I don't want that.
But that's about things, right?
Yeah.
Money.
Right.
Things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But he doesn't even want money and things. He wants happiness.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get more happiness?
Knowing yourself better. If I can figure out that those things are just temporary.
Right.
I don't really need them in my life.
So if I ask you, who are you? What do you tell me? And that's for all of you. If I say to you, who are you? What's your answer? You're going to give me your name? Your name? That's okay. You don't have to give me your name.
Oh, fine.
No, but I'm saying, is that what we are? Is that who I am? Because who you are is so much more than your name, so much more than your job, so much more than how much money you have in the bank. Who you are is so much more than all of it. But for most people, we are relegated into a specific type of lifestyle based on so much of our history and our past. And much of that is based on what we've created from who we are. Think back to when you were 10, or maybe when you were 5. You know, when you had all of these amazing dreams of what you were going to do with your life. Did you do it? And some of us can say yes, and some of us can say some of it. I didn't do all of it. And the real question is, what do you want to do going forward? I mean, this really is understanding how values clarify decision making. If I were to say, I'm content. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong, by the way, with being content. But if I was to say, I am content, the decisions I'm going to make going forward really will mirror that I'm content. But if I were to say, I'm just getting started. I mean, 71 years old, and I'm just getting started. I'm just beginning to understand how valuable I am, how viable I am, how much there is for me to still do in life. I'm going to make different decisions. So that's why I'm saying, look at yourself and ask yourself, what do I value? And do I feel that I'm capable of getting it? So this whole thing, the conflict of wants, we don't even let ourselves want because we've already put the conflict in place of, I'm not going to get that because I'm this. So it really all boils down to, who do you end up knowing yourself to be? So Buddha said this, our life is the creation of our mind. So I teach quantum metaphysics, and I'm the spiritual director of a church, of a spiritual center. And every single Sunday, I get up. Every single Saturday, mostly on Saturdays, I speak. But every single Sunday, I get up, go into church, and do a half-hour lecture. Every week, it's the same lecture. It's very different talks. They come off differently. They're about different subjects, but it's always the same exact one thing that everyone's trying to really get hold of, which is, my mind creates my experience, which is what the Buddha said. Our life is the creation of our mind, and your mind is the creation of a lot of shit that life has brought forward for you so far. But your mind is your mind. And all of that can go away, and you can start right where you are and decide to think differently. Decide that you are more powerful than anything you've done up to this point. And then you can start asking yourself, okay, if that's the truth, what do I want? What do I want? What do I really want? So Louise Hay said that every thought we think is creating our future. And I said that to you a little bit ago. Just watching my time here. Every thought you think, every thought you've thought all night while I've been talking, is creating your future going forward. The good news for me is everything I think is creating my future, and I'm the one that gets to give these talks. Every time I give one, I hear it more. I understand it better, and I live from it more and more and more and more, because you're thinking constantly. So, this is kind of the end of this presentation in one sense. The authentic want. Explore authenticity and alignment between desire and identity. Let's just go to that point first. Explore authenticity and alignment between desire and identity. When I say, who are you? I don't mean your name, and I don't mean your career, and I don't mean how much money you have. I don't mean your gender, I don't mean your sexual orientation, I don't mean which position you prefer, I don't mean any of that. When I say, who are you? I'm asking you from a deeper level, who do you know yourself to be? And this here, the authenticity, explore authenticity and alignment between desire and identity. There's an authentic you inside of you that actually does have deep desires, that has an impulsion of creativity and passion for life itself. That's really there. That's your authentic true self. Then there's your identity. And that's all this crap that's come before. And I say crap, and I don't mean that because there's also great stuff that's come before. But all of your belief systems, everything that you've somehow bought into up to this moment. And it takes work. It takes work for you to spend the time to ask yourself, am I settling? And if I am settling, what would it take me to do more than just settle? So this is a big, big important part of this whole process. The what do I want and why. The authentic want. And I'm not going to ask you, we don't have time. If I was doing a full day workshop, we would all break off, we'd talk, and you would finally get to what is that authentic want. So develop criteria for recognizing true wants. That means you have to take the chance. You have to be willing to ask yourself, what do I really want? If I could have anything, if I really could have anything at all, what do I really, truly want? And that's without you starting to figure out how's it going to happen. Because a great part of this is, it doesn't matter how it's going to happen. You just need to know what it is, and the universe handles the rest. But you've got to stay open to it. You've got to stay pure with it. So the question, what do I want that feels fully mine? That's a hard question. What do you want that feels truly yours? What can you say, I want this and I believe it's mine to have? Yes.
Something that I can give to somebody and then it gives it back in return.
Yeah. And what could you give to somebody?
Love.
Yes. Were you the ones that raised your hand? Are you married?
No.
You want a partner?
Not looking for one.
But you would be happy with one.
I would be happy with one.
Okay, but you're not looking.
Not looking.
In some senses, that's not bad. Not looking, but being open to it. Yeah. But you just identified something that you want. I'm gonna say this. I think maybe, tell me if I'm right. You just identified maybe that you have stuff you want to give to someone else.
I've been doing it. And when you were talking, I was thinking, oh yeah, that's what it is. I've been doing it. Sometimes I kind of I look for it to see if it comes back in return. And when he does it, they're like, okay, then, move on or wait until it comes back.
Maybe just focus on the giving.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have. You have a great energy to you. Yeah. So that's really the whole point of this. Can you get to the authentic part of yourself that answers a question differently than just the way we tend to answer it? And the exercise is the 5 whys. Why? 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 And answering it each time without using your critical thinking, but answering it from a place of not even knowing why you're answering it. Just it's coming up because it's your true, authentic self. So Marianne Williamson, I'm sure you all know her, she said, you must learn a new way to think before you can master a new way to be. So you're thinking, all the thinking that you've all done has got you right to where you are in this moment. Exactly where you are, how you are, is basically the result of the way you've been thinking up to this point. You want a different result? Think different thoughts. But if you want to think different thoughts, you have to go deep and find out, why do I believe what I believe? Because your thoughts are coming from your beliefs. So, living your why, turning your statement of desire into actionable intentions. So, this is the last thing I wanted to leave you with, which is, if you really get a want tonight, sometime, now or later, and something really comes to you, these kind of talks, these kind of sessions, they kind of waft over you, and it's a lot of words, you're hearing me say a lot of stuff, but maybe at midnight or 2 in the morning, or maybe in your dreams, or you wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden something clicks and something, wait, I think I would love that. I would love that. That's what I'm looking for. That's what this is all about. Turning your statement of desire into actionable intentions. Pay attention. Look for whatever that may be that wants to bubble up inside of you. Something that you want. Maybe it's the first thing you said tonight, but maybe it's not. Maybe something else comes up. And don't try to make sense out of it. Just listen to it. And then pay attention to it. See how the universe brings intentions into play. See if you can put an intention on top of whatever that authentic want is, whatever it is. I'll end with this. I believe, even in terms of our government, I believe that life is unfolding perfectly. I can't imagine why we need the president who's in the White House to have been there. Can't even imagine it, for me. And I don't mean to insult any of you if any of you are Republicans or any of you are MAGAs, but I don't understand or can't understand why that would be. And yet, I teach and know that there's something good going to come out of that for this country, for the world. Something good is going to come out of everything having a light shined on it so that we really see what's going on. That comes from me understanding that life is unfolding perfectly no matter what. And I believe that. So it's up to you to decide what you believe and let your beliefs lead the way. But really check them and ask yourself, what do I want? And why do I want it? Once you answer those questions, then you can do some of the work necessary to start listening to your authentic voice. Thanks for letting me speak, everybody. Oh, questions? Yes, any questions from anybody? Yes.
When was the first time you read The Power of Positive Thinking?
I read it years ago, like 30 years ago. Did you read it?
As a child.
As a child. You should read it again. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes.
That was really excellent. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Mostly like
Question?
Yes.
Yeah.
When are your services here?
Saturdays at 4 15 at the Mizell Center. And there's a number of us ministers there. I'm there every other week. And then another minister takes over the weeks I'm not there. But I'm there this Saturday at 4:30. Yes.
It's free or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we take a collection. People give a love offering. But yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for being here. Yes. Great.